What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We're back January 9th here, Thursday, 10 games on the docket on FanDuel and DraftKings. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. If you're not a member yet out there, use that promo code PGA100. Get you $100 off any annual PGA package out there. If you want all sports, I highly suggest you do sign up for our all access pass, cheapest all-in rate in the industry, and optimizer plus full access to our website under $100 a month. Unheard of around this industry there. Pay less for content, play more in DFS. Contest is our motto over here, but we got 10 games to talk about. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about this slate. I'm going to throw it up on the screen. We're going to use the Stone, one of our premium tools over here at ShipItNation.com, to talk through this slate. First game is a pretty interesting one here. Senators and the Sabres. I like the Senators quite a bit here. Looking last season, I should say, dating back in this game here, Ottawa did beat the Sabres here 6-2. But looking at this season's numbers, Buffalo beat them 5-1 here. So a lot of goals probably projected in this game for the most part here. Pretty good total in this one. Ottawa is at home, so I do give a slight lean to Ottawa here. I'll start with the Sabre side. My interest in terms of GPP. Tage Thompson's got a really good price point at $7,200. Same with Zucker. Peterka. Those are kind of the three guys I'm looking at here. Tuuk is as well as a solid option, but Tage Thompson at $7,200 with Zucker at $4,400. I don't mind those two guys there for a little mini stack. You could throw in a Bowen Byram at $3,700, and you got a nice little three-man stack there that's correlated. They've all done pretty good against the Senators, especially this season when the game was there at home when Buffalo won 5-1 here. I think this kind of comes closer, and I like Ottawa more in this spot. So I like the Timmy Stu and the Josh Norris, Shane Pinto guy, Brady Tkachuk, Bathbaum, Ridley Grieg is a good value. Same with Claude Giroux. I like all of those top guys right there. All three centers are firmly in play for me. All three wings, or four wings, I should say, are in play for me. Probably not getting to any of the depth guys, right? The fourth liners. But I don't mind jumping down to the third line here. Prefer Josh Norris just due to that power play correlation there. Jake Sanderson and Thomas Chabot, both good options there. And then Artem Zub here at $2,900, one of the best value D-men on the slate. Really like him, really like his projection there. So I like the Senators quite a bit in this spot here. One of my favorite stacks of the night. Don't sleep on the Buffalo side. I expect quite a bit of goals in this one here. I will say in tournaments, if you need to punt goalie, I prefer Lucas Dostal at $6,900 if punting goalie, but UPL did smash these guys, the Senators, when they were at home here. Buffalo, not quite the same team on the road as they are at home, though. So definitely like the Senators here quite a bit for sure. Next game on the slate here, I like Tampa in this one. Tampa at home, good spot for them. The only issue is their price points. It gets expensive to stack them up. They're going to have no ownership. It is a decent spot to buy on them. I prefer the depth guys more. I don't mind Nick Paul as a one-off or like a little two-man stack, something like that with like a Chaffee or something like that. Nick Paul, Mitchell Chaffee here. But overall, I would like Tampa more, but at these price points, it's just super hard on a 10-game slate to pay 86, 94, 76 to get a full line stack there. Just really restricts what you can do with your roster overall. So I like Tampa. I think Tampa's a good play here. Victor Hedman, good option there. It's just tough to pay those price points, but if you can make it work, I definitely like it. On the Bruins side, really not getting to anyone on the Bruins side here. I like Vaz a ton as a goalie on the slate. $7,900 is too cheap. He's probably my favorite goalie on the slate as the spend up range. So I really like him. Really like Tampa in this spot. Next game on the slate. This is going to be my top stack of the night here. It's the Devils on the road against the Rangers. Shesterkin is in that, but it's not the same Shesterkin we have seen in years past here. Devils. Don't fail me here, man. I feel like every time I say Devils are my top stack of the night, they just shit the bed. But I'm going right back to the well here. I'm just attacking the expected goals numbers. I'm attacking the metrics here. And the Rangers have just been pitiful on home ice over the last 10 games. 29th in the league in expected goals, 32nd, dead last in the league in actual goals, dead last in the league in high danger chances. The only thing they are good at is the penalty kill. So I like more full line strength versus the power play correlation. Obviously, you're going to naturally get some power play correlation here, but give me Jack Hughes, give me Jesper Bratt, give me Andre Palat. I like those three guys a ton here. And then Nico Hischier, Timo Meier, and Nosen. That's actually probably my preferred line here on the road. It's cheaper, and I like secondary lines more on the road as well. So I really like Nico. I really like Timo Meier and Stefan Nosen. I like those guys quite a bit. Dougie Hamilton's a decent play from his price point. And then Luke Hughes at 3,700 is a solid value from the defense standpoint. On the Rangers side, Vincent Trocheck's playing out of his mind right now. I don't mind him. Probably not getting to really anyone else outside of Trocheck. I don't love chasing him either off of his ceiling game either. But if he's hitting projections again for Shalhoub out there, if you're listening to the show, Shalhoub, hey, maybe that's something we need to take into account, because I was running a bunch of teams trying to build my teams on that slate, and Trocheck, man, he was slamming in those teams, and those Rangers are getting slammed, and I hit the old X button on him, and it was pretty hurtful when Trocheck goes out there and just absolutely nukes the slate. So maybe we have to take it into account. But at this ownership, I mean, give me the Devils here. I mean, Rangers are going to get this kind of ownership here against the Devils, and Markstrom, who's been incredible. He's another goalie I like a lot on the slate. Him and Vasilevsky are my two guys that if I'm spending up, I'm stopping there. There's no reason to go above them. But it's kind of crazy to see these Rangers getting this kind of ownership. They are playing good right now. They are at home. I get it. They are cheap, but not for me here. Give me the Devils in this one. Next team on the slate here, Flyers and the Stars. Not much interest in this game from a DFS perspective from me. Both these teams pretty good in terms of expected goals. I think this game goes under the total in general. I don't mind some guys like Tippett and Konechny. You can play those guys any slate. Don't mind those guys. On the Stars side, the Stars are playing pretty good hockey right now in general. Looking at last year, Philly beat the Stars down 5-1, and Dallas was a way better squad last year. I think, maybe a slight lean to the Flyers here. I just still think it goes under the total here. 5-1 last year, and then 5-4 Dallas won. Dallas lost 1-5, and then 5-4 they won the other game. So could be a potential here. Hopefully not. 10-game slate. I'm not really getting to this game too much, despite it being a 6.5 total here. If I were to go to anyone, it'd probably be the Duchene line here from the Stars. Duchene, Wyatt Johnston, Jamie Benn. That line's been playing really, really good. I'm not seeing ownership go to them, which I like. Jamie Benn, great price point at 4,700. Wyatt Johnston, he's been great for 6,400, and then Duchene at 5,200. I don't mind that. And then line one as well has been playing pretty good. They're cheap, so maybe a little bit more interest than initially anticipated here for the Stars. But give me Dallas line two. No interest in DeSmith or Samuel Ersson here. Erson's not been great, so slight bump as well to the Stars, and I'm liking that. Not seeing really any ownership here. Evgeny Dadonov, I'm just fine being off of him at that value price point. I just rather play a guy like Tanner Pearson, something like that. I just don't think Evgeny Dadonov's been or is a very good hockey player, despite how he's been playing as of late. So you can play him, sure, but at this ownership, I just rather pivot elsewhere and just go to like line two from the same squad there. Flyers side, like I said, Konechny, Tippett. Those are two of the guys that you can play pretty much any slate. Konechny for sure at 6,200. That's a fair price point there. Don't mind that. And I think he's a pretty good play. Next game on the slate here, Edmonton's going to be chalk on this slate, or fairly chalky for a 10-game slate here. We just saw this matchup a couple days ago, and it was definitely underwhelming from the Edmonton side. It is interesting to note, shout out to Vats out there who has definitely provided a ton of value in Discord. Appreciate you and members don't see that go unnoticed out there for sure. So I appreciate Vats out there. Him and I talk quite a bit in the Discord, and he brought something to my attention since the coaching change there in Pittsburgh. Their defense has actually been a lot better than what the metrics have showing. Ned is not a great goalie by any means, so it could go south quickly here. But we just saw these two guys go, and Edmonton won 4-0 at home. Now goes on the road here. I mean, the big dogs in that game, 4-0, definitely underwhelmed. It was all the depth guys really scoring for Edmonton until Victor Arvidsson got that empty netter there. I like going back to some Edmonton here. I prefer Leon's line, Leon Draisaitl, Victor Arvidsson, and Pod here. Pod's actually been playing really good. He's got back-to-back good games. He's 2,700, basically stone minimum. And he pairs with Arvidsson really nice. And then you get the stud there in Draisaitl. So I like Edmonton line 2 here. That's the only Edmonton line I will be touching. I'm not playing McDavid. I'm not playing Hyman. I'm not going to chase Nugent Hopkins even at his favorable price point there. I think you can definitely play him. I just like the full line stack here for line 2 more in this game. But outside of that, not really interested in this game. Skinner, not chasing his shutout of the Pens last time. I just don't think Skinner's a very good goalie in general. Not too often Edmonton shuts out anybody just because they play terrible defense and their goaltending's not been great. So Edmonton line 2 for me in tournaments I think is interesting. It's good to see that their ownership's not getting up there either, which I do like. Initially looking at the slate, I thought Edmonton would be pretty popular. Doesn't seem to be the case here. So a little bit more interest in Edmonton, but it's mainly line 2 for me. On the Penn side, full fade for me. You can play Carlson, you can play Letang, you can play Grizzly. Those are kind of the only guys I'd be looking at there. Not getting to Sid, not getting to Ross Raquel, any of those guys. You can play them any slate, but I think there's way better slates or way better spots on the slate to play those guys. Next game on the slate here. This is interesting to me. Seeing the Kraken get this kind of ownership. I get it. Kraken stifled this team earlier this season, 5-1, I believe, or 5-0, something like that. Definitely was one-sided towards the Kraken side in Seattle. Think that changes here tonight. I like the Blue Jackets. I have a soft spot for the Blue Jackets. I don't know what it is. This is going to change. Monahan is on the IR. He did get injured in that last game. So Fantilli is going to slot up to that top line there. Absolutely love Fantilli at 3.2K, and then easy pairing with Marchenko and Vornikov. This line 1 has been basically the best line in hockey for quite some time now, as of late. And I'm going right back to the well. Marchenko, love him. Vornikov, love him. And Fantilli, love him. Werensinski is amazing. He's incredible, but now his price point's up to 8,800, and it makes it really tough to play him there. He has to do something at that price point because, I mean, you can literally save almost $5,000. You can save $5,000 and get defenders that just allow you to do a lot more with your forward spots, your wings, and your centers on your roster construction. But incredible play. I've been on him as of late. Probably going to jump off here tonight, so expect about a 40 burger coming from him, which definitely has in his deck of cards as we've seen. But at 8,800, man, I don't love it. I think you can definitely play him. Projections are probably going to like him. He's definitely the best spend up D-man on the slate. You can play him in the utility spot as well. And you could see him take more of an offensive role than he already does with Monahan being off the net or off the ice, but I still like Marchenko, Vornikov, and Fantilli are going to be the guys I look at there. Sillinger's fine. Kent Johnson, I don't want to forget him. He's a really, really good option. I like him a ton at 4,300 on that top power play as well. So, yeah, love the Jackets here. On the Kraken side, at this ownership, full fade for me, not chasing any of these Kraken against the Blue Jackets here. Mers Lincoln's is fine in terms of goalie if you land there, but I'd just rather find the $100 or the $200 to get up to Vaz, to get up to Markstrom, personally. Next game on the slate here, Carolina and Toronto. Pretty solid spot here for Carolina, I think. But overall, I just don't like this game a ton. I think this is more of a defensive-focused hockey game here. 2 playoff teams, in my opinion here. Toronto looks really, really good this year. But that means just they're going to get to the playoffs like they do every year and just flop. Because that's just how Toronto Maple Leafs do it. They look incredible. They look like a wagon all season long. Get to the playoffs and piss down their legs. So it'll be fun to see that happen again here. Give me the Carolina side if I'm going to anyone. I like Aho. He's got a fair price point at home here. Jarvis, 5,800 fair. Jack Roslovic brings that stack down cheaper at 3,800 like that. And then Brent Burns at 4K. Just the big dogs for me. Kochetkov here in net as well. I don't mind him in tournaments either. Prefer Markstrom, prefer Vaz in that same price point, but just another option at 8K you can go to Just don't think you need to play a goalie against Toronto's offense on a 10-game slate. But seen crazier shit happen personally. On the Toronto side, I mean, Tavares' line would be the line I'd go to. Tavares, Nylander, and McMahon, who's been good right now, but don't want to play anyone against Carolina's defense, especially when Carolina is at home on a 10-game slate. So Carolina are pass for me in that game, but I expect it to be kind of lower scoring, more of a playoff-style hockey game. So don't love that for DFS opportunities there. Next game, Blues at home against the Ducks here. Here's where ownership's going to flock to. I expect this ownership to creep up as slate kind of gets closer to lock. At these price points, Blues are fine options. Robert Thomas has a really good price point there. Kyrou, 6,100, very good price point. I actually probably prefer the Braden Shen, Jordan Kyrou, Dylan Holloway line personally here. Robert Thomas is good. Buchnevich is great. And Saad is good. But give me line 2 here with Holloway, Kyrou, and Shen. Personally, if I'm going to the Blues here, I like that line 2. A decent amount of tournaments. I don't think really many people get to that line. I think if people play the Blues here at home against the Ducks, they go to line 1. And then on the Ducks side, McTavish, good option here with Fabry and Gauthier. Be interested to see what these lines look like. Troy Terry did leave last game, so not sure if he's going to be back or what the case is there. So expect some line shuffling happening here from the Ducks, but I would prefer the McTavish line here. McTavish is a really good option at 3,600. He's been playing good. Hofer's going to be in that. He's not great. I have zero interest in him being the most expensive goalie on the slate. That's asinine to me. I would much rather play Lucas Dostal. So in tournaments, I think Lucas Dostal is actually a pretty good play. 6,900, you can never go wrong with the cheapest goalie on the slate, especially in a spot like this where he's not really facing a powerhouse squad like a Tampa, like a Colorado, like an Edmonton, right? Like any of the big top dog teams, right? Like a Winnipeg, something like that. He's playing the Blues here on the road. I mean, both these teams are pretty equivalent. I mean, both have 23 losses, 17 wins, 19 wins. They're basically equivalent here. I don't know why they're minus 200 just because they're at home. So Lucas Dostal in tournaments, I like quite a bit at 6,900. And I just don't expect many people to go to him at all. He's a really good goalie in my opinion. And it leverages off definitely some of the Blues that are going to pick up some steam as we head into lock and people are building teams. Next game on the slate, Avs and the Wild here. I don't love this game very much in general here. I mean, you can play it. I just think this is more defensive focused. Again, Wild play pretty tough at home in general. If I went to anyone, it would be on the Wild side just because the Avs on the road. Expected goals numbers are way up there. Blackwood, I just don't think is a very good goalie in general. He's been better than what they had, but I think that's more of a counter effect of McKinnon and Rantanen and the big dog Makars being on the ice and just having a much better offense in front of him, right? Versus he did out in San Jose there. So Eriksson Ek, fine. Marco Rossi, fine. Boldy, Zuccarello, just the big dogs for me from the Wild side. But I just can't get too enthused to play the Wild here with Kaprizov off that line, just because he opens up so much for everybody else on that line. It's just tough to get around to it. Devon Toews, fine option there, and Faber, also fine option there at 3,900. Gus Bus as well at 7,300. I think is definitely an interesting goalie play on the slate as well. That's too cheap for what his upside can show. As you can see, 92% save percentage, 2.3 goal against average, win percentage over 64%. So I do like Gus Bus quite a bit at that price point there in that lower range. So it's definitely a spend down goalie slate for me, I think, unless you're getting to a Vaz, unless you're getting to a Markstrom. Last game on the slate here, Vegas Golden Knights and the Islanders. Really good spot here for the Knights, in my opinion here. Power play, good matchup. The Islanders do limit power play opportunities, but if they do go shorthanded, there's a good chance that Vegas does score here as the Islanders kill off just about 70% of penalties on the road. Eichel, Stone, and Pearson are kind of the guys I'm looking at. Tanner Pearson still a really good value at 3,200. Much rather play Tanner Pearson at 3,200 than Evgeny Dadonov personally. But I get it. Dadonov does get power play time. Pearson doesn't. I just think Pearson's on the better line, personally, with Eichel and Stone. So I like them. And then William Karlsson, Tomas Hertl, and Dorfiev. I like those guys. And then Victor Olofsson, always a power play specialist there. You can throw him in. So Vegas Golden Knights to take us home. I like them. I don't love them. And then Aiden Hill, if you're spending all the way out for some reason, he'd be the guy that I'd go to all the way up at the top. Islanders side, the only guy for me is Adam Pielich here, 2,900 D-man. I think he's a solid option there from a defensive standpoint. But all my final notes and slate plan are live on the website, so check out the slate plan there. Core plays will be coming shortly. I'll be in the Discord answering any questions you guys have. That's going to do it for this NHL breakdown here. Good luck tonight in those contests. Hope to see those Ship Nation logos at the top. For myself, I'm out of here.